Hello, I'm Dango Rose. Welcome to the Mountaineer Podcast, where everybody's listening. The Mountaineer brings you the latest news of the Peak to Peak region, in print, online, through our podcast, social media, and special publications. Now, listen in to the latest news of the area with our local journalists. Hello, I'm Dango Rose, and this is the Mountaineer Podcast, where everybody's listening.
And I'm Cynthia Davis. In this week's episode, we hear from Andy Reiner. This is the third year he'll be a part of welcoming ghost hunters and thrill seekers to the haunted stage stop in Rollinsville. Then, we'll hear a listener's tale of a supernatural encounter at the historic venue during a winter's night out for music and libations.
We hear this week's music mentions from Jamie Lammers, and special correspondent Maryann Rosen will share part 2 of our 5-part supernatural story series for the month of October, leading up to Samhain and Halloween.
And for our final story, Jamie Lammers interviews musician Summers Baker. He and his trio will be taking over the stage at the Gold Hill Inn this weekend for a night of mountain music.
But first, some news from your neighborhood.
Elections for the Gilpin County School Board are approaching, and you can read all about the candidates in this week's edition of the Mountaineer newspaper. Find out who is on the ballot and where they stand on important issues facing our local education system and student resources.
Don't miss Netherlands' near total solar eclipse on Saturday, October 14th. The best times to see the eclipse are between 9:14 a.m. and noon, with a maximum coverage happening at 10:36. The nearest location to see the full eclipse will be the Four Corners region of New Mexico. For more information about this week's solar eclipse, visit science.nasa.gov/eclipses.
As we move into the cooler months and begin to turn up those heaters and light our cozy fires, make sure you take a moment to first check and maintain all of your equipment to ensure it is safe and in proper working order. Check and replace batteries if needed in both your fire detector and carbon monoxide detector, and be sure to double-check ventilation systems and clear those chimneys. Every year, more than 400 people die in carbon monoxide-related deaths due to a lack of ventilation, and home fires almost always double during the winter months.
The Eldora Mountain Resort is hiring for the 2023-24 winter season. If you're looking to join the snowbound team and to enjoy all the perks of working in Eldora's winter windy wonderland, apply online at eldora.com/jobs.
Read more local news and feature stories in print and online at themountaineer.com.
And that's it for this week's news briefs. If you have something to share, you can send requests for submission to info@themountaineer.com. As long as it meets our community standards, we'll be sure to include it in a future episode. Brightwood Music has been serving the Peak to Peak region and beyond since opening in 2008. The full-service music store offers new and used instruments and will even repair the ones you've got. Go ahead and check them out on Facebook at Brightwood Music. Brightwood Music is the best music store with altitude across the Peak to Peak. And now for our lead story. Cynthia interviews Andy Reiner with a haunted stage stop in Rollinsville. They will talk about the historic venue and a bit about who he believes is roaming the halls from beyond the grave.
Hi, Andy. Let's start by letting you introduce yourself to our listeners.
My name is Andy Reiner, and I am the creator at Haunted Stage Stop, also known as Spooky Grass Productions. And I'm the king of the zombies.
So this year, y'all have extended the now third annual event. Can you tell us more about that?
Oh, yeah. Well, it's true. Opening weekend is coming up right away, October 6th and 7th. And if you're hearing this from the future, there should be a bunch more opportunities to visit still coming up. We're open for a total of 14 nights in October, which is really, really, really big for us. We started in 2020 in Allens Park with 2 nights, and then we moved to the Gold Hill Inn, and this is our second year at the Stage Stop, doing Haunted Stage Stop. Last year we only did 5 nights, but we had such a good response that we thought we would just do it all October long and just really send it.
And what do you think people will be expecting to experience when they come out to the Haunted Stage Stop?
So what are people expecting? They're expecting a haunted house. Our job is to scare people. So when you come, you're going to visit our midway. We're going to have some fire pits, and we're going to have some games. I'll be selling sparkling water and still water for hydration purposes. We're likely to have a line. It's helpful to buy tickets online, but we're totally selling tickets at the door. And we built our first physical ticket booth, which we're really excited about, to be able to sell tickets on site in a great way. We're also fundraising for the Timberline Volunteer Firefighters Foundation. So we're asking for donations because they support our community and help us not burn down. And they're just very selfless, community-minded people who are awesome. So we are fundraising for them. All of the games, we are asking for a donation of any amount to the Timberline Volunteer Firefighters, then you can play the game. What you can expect inside is to meet the ghosts of Haunted Stage Stop. We do have zombies. We do have haunted dolls. You might meet a clown, and you're certainly going to have a lot of fun.
You had mentioned there will be a lot more to do around town when visiting. Tell us more about what's going on.
The other great thing about Rollinsville is that all these businesses are thriving and really close together. So within steps of the Haunted Stage Stop, you have access to Gold Dirt Distillery, serving unbelievably amazing, I think the best ever cocktails with liquor they distilled, and a lot of it's made from scratch when they're making the cocktails. Toss Pizza is open. They're serving their wood-fired pizza, salads, appetizers, and Howlin' Wind, in my opinion, best beer in Colorado. They're open too. And Howlin' Wind is doing DJs on Friday nights from 8:30 to 10:30, and they're doing bands on Saturday nights, I believe, from 6 p.m. to 8 p.m. So anytime you come up here, we've got live music.
Andy, do you have any ghost stories to share? Maybe something you've heard or even experienced yourself?
Well, one of the best parts about running an event like this is we get to meet a bunch of people in the community. So those stories are that, like, people want to tell us so we know about them, which is really fun. So a lot of people come up in Howlin' Wind or something and they're telling us their ghost stories. I'm told that there was a whiskey shot left in a special cubby in the bar for a ghost, a particular ghost. And anytime it was removed, that ghost would not be happy and they would make themselves known. One thing I can say is we have put the bar back up and we'll be leaving that ghost a shot of whiskey. And the other thing I'll say is just that from a former skeptic, now 4 years into building haunted house attractions, I will say the skeptics have been converted, and we've heard stuff and we've seen stuff, and people who who work at Gold Dirt have said, "Wow, you're doing some loud stuff over there." What was going on upstairs? It's like, hey, actually, we weren't there. It was just you and the ghost. So we like to believe that the ghosts are on our side. We're bringing them more attention, some more victims, and it's definitely haunted for sure.
So, how did you get into the business of haunted houses and scare acting?
Well, when I was a little kid, my dad brought me to a haunted house every year, and it was a great thing we had. Once we were in Colorado, my wife, Dr. Joy Adams, who plays cello in the really awesome band Big Richard, who people might have heard of, we started scare acting at the 13th floor in Denver, which is probably the most popular haunted house in Denver. And then I've scare acted at the Frightmare compound in Westminster. So we kind of like learned about some tricks of the trade from the pros. And during 2020, we found ourselves living in this ghost town neighborhood in Allen's Park called Ferncliff. And it was like the stage stop, just totally haunted. It's so obvious haunted that when we brought some friends through on a little tour, they thought we had already set up for the haunted house because it was just that spooky on its own. So we just thought it was an amazing opportunity. None of our friends had jobs at that point since we're all musicians. And we just got a bunch of friends together, took people on tours, and everyone loved it. So once you got a pile of bodies, then you're looking for the next place to show them off. So we made friends with Brian over at the Gold Hill Inn, and we just keep making more and more friends. So now we're real close to our current house. We live in Gilpin County, so it's the Rollinsville thing is perfect, and we love the stage stop.
Andy, where can people buy tickets and find out more information about the Haunted Stage Stop?
Yeah, so hauntedstagestop.com is your one-stop shop for tickets and information. We're also posting updates on our Facebook page, facebook.com/hauntedstagestop. On our website, the hauntedstagestop.com, we do have a frequently asked questions page. So there's a lot of questions that we get a lot, and we're happy to answer them. We want everyone to have a fun and safe time. The biggest question we get is this for kids? Is this for adults? What's the age limit? And we just like to say that we love to scare humans of all shapes and sizes. If you're an adult and you want to get scared, we're ready for you. If you're a kid and you want to have a great Halloween time, we're ready for you. But for the parents wondering if their kid is old enough, we don't make parenting decisions. We believe that is your job. Our job is to scare people. We don't want anyone bringing babies or pets. But beyond that, we leave it completely up to you.
Is there anything else you want to share before we wrap up?
I just want people to come together to do something that's fun. We've been working with fire department. The first year we did this, we raised $3,000 for the Allen Park Fire Department. Last year we raised $3,700 for the Timberline volunteer firefighters. This year I'd love to blow that out of the water. We just want to build community and celebrate Halloween. So come on out to the Haunted Stage Stop.
Thank you, Andy. We certainly encourage everyone to come out and enjoy everything the Haunted Stage Stop and folks in town have planned.
I went after all alone down in Cherokee County. Eyes of fire and a long fur coat, her teeth could could carve a mountain. Tracked her steps to the light of the moon, but she disappeared without warning. Heard a voice call behind my back, a ghostly sound. I hear her howl.
Now for a listener's tale about a ghostly encounter in the ladies' room at the Stage Stop Inn while visiting the historic venue in Rollinsville for a night of music and libations.
Well, my name is Mindy Leary. I'm a local resident of Gilpin County. I've been here for 18 years. I don't know exactly when it was. I was probably 2013, and I was there for a concert, and there was a band playing upstairs. I was standing in the middle of the dance floor, and I was kind of grooving to the music, and I was thinking to myself, well, you know, you should probably go to the bathroom soon, because I was probably drinking a beer. And then I noticed out of the corner of my eye that a woman had walked into the bathroom. And I noticed that she was wearing like a long white skirt or a long white dress. And I saw her go into the bathroom. And so I was standing there waiting for her for a while. And eventually it got to the point where I was like, okay, I really have to go. I don't know what this girl's doing in the bathroom. So I go and stand by the bathroom door and knock on it, and no one's in there. And so I helped myself to the restroom at that point. But it was pretty crazy that I totally thought there was someone in the bathroom, and there was no one. It was really odd that I thought someone was in the bathroom for so long. I mean, I could have sworn I saw a woman go in there. And obviously I was holding it, waiting to go for a while. And so when I opened the door to the bathroom after knocking and there was no one there, I got like a lot of chills. But I mean, the town has a questionable history when it comes to women, especially with the Blue Apartments at the end of the road used to have a illegal speakeasy and possibly ladies of the night there. Yeah, I've heard of one other story in the region. It's at the end of Lump Gulch. There's a A-frame house there. And the story is that there's a whistling in the trees there, and that it's there's a ghost that whistles. There's some grave sites and some unmarked graves, I guess, right there. And there's the story that there was a man who had left, you know, his wife and maybe kids there and had left for the season. And then when he returned, she had another man there and that he murdered them. So, and that the unmarked graves are the wife and child. But I've never heard it corroborated other than just with gossip.
Now we go to correspondent Jamie Lammers, who will be delivering this week's Music Mentions.
And now for this week's Music Mentions. Every Wednesday at 9 p.m., the Diner Bar Ned hosts a karaoke night. Be sure to head there at 121 North Jefferson Street in Nederland to check them out for yourself. Head to the Gold Hill Inn, located at 401 Main Street in Gold Hill, on Thursday, October 12th at 7 p.m. to see Andy Thorne, Adam Ajala, and Ali Kral performing live. On Friday, October 13th at 8 p.m. to see Rolling Harvest performing live. And on Saturday, October 14th at 7 p.m. to see Summers Baker performing live. Also be sure to head there on Sunday, October 15th at 7 p.m. to see Lucas Wolf performing live. Head to the Gold Hill General Store, located at 531 Main Street in Gold Hill, on Sunday, October 15th at 3 p.m. to see Foggy Top's Bluegrass Band performing live. Head to Howlin' Wind Brewing, located at 51A Main Street in Rollinsville, on Friday, October 13th at 8:30 p.m. to see DJ Guado performing live, and on Saturday, October 14th at 5 p.m. to see Brandy Wine and the Mighty Fines performing live. Head to the to Jamestown Mercantile, located at 108 Main Street in Jamestown, on Thursday, October 12th at 7 p.m. to see Fast Floyd performing live, on Friday, October 13th at 7 p.m. to see Stellar J Jazz performing live, and on Sunday, October 15th at 12:15 p.m. to see John Dell performing live. Head to JKQ Barbecue, located at 200 Gregory Street in Blackhawk, on Friday, October 13th at 6 p.m. and on Saturday, October 14th at 5 p.m. to see Patrice LeBlanc performing live. Head to Nonnerbird Brewing, located at 250 North Caribou Street in Netherland, on Friday, October 13th at 6 p.m. to see Riverspell performing live. Also be sure to head there every Sunday at 5 p.m. to see Jazz Sundays. Most Sundays at 4 p.m., the Millside Inn hosts an open jam. Be sure to head there at 44365 Highway 72 in Ward to check them out for yourself. Head to the Caribou Room, located at 55 Indian Peaks Drive in Netherland, on Saturday, October 14th to see the Al Capones with Skank Williams. Doors open at 7 p.m. and the show starts at 8 p.m. Head to the Train Cars, located at 101 Highway 119 in Netherland, on Friday, October 13th at 6 p.m. to see Rhythms on the Rails, Drum Circle, and Hip Hop Open Mic, and on Saturday, October 14th at 8 p.m. to see Lucas Wolf performing live. And finally, head to the Very Nice Brewing Company, located at 20 East Lakeview Drive, number 112 in Netherland, on Friday, October 13th at 6 p.m. to see Rita Goldman performing live, on Saturday, October 14th at 5 p.m. to see Reservoir Fog performing live, and on Sunday, October 15th at 5 p.m. to see Carter Combs Duo performing live. Did we miss you or your performances? Want to submit your music listing in the Peak to Peak area? Do you have updates to your business or to your performances? Please call 303-810-5409 or email info@themountaineer.com to be included in the next print edition or the next podcast of The Mountain Ear.
Thank you, Jamie. Now let's drop in with special correspondent, Maryann Rosen, who shares part 2 of our 5-part supernatural story series for the month of October, leading up to Samhain and Halloween.
October rides to see the foliage are wonderful ways to pass the time and get that lovely autumn vibe. But if you have a penchant for the scarier aspects of the month leading to Halloween and Samhain, then maybe visit some of Colorado's eerier places along the way. In week 2 of this 5-part spooky series, we continue to discover more chilling stops, including 5 hotels for you to stay at, if you dare, and we will learn about the haunted goings-on in a museum, casinos, an events venue, a home of a Titanic survivor, and a pub. So get ready for more hair-raising tales of unexplained phenomena. With horrors seen during war, it is no wonder that the Hotel Colorado in Glenwood Springs has seen its share of apparitions. Used as a hospital during World War II, more than 500 soldiers were treated there. Deep within its basements were gigantic ovens used as crematoriums to take care of the dead. Many people and visitors have reported seeing spirits floating through the hallways or around the town at night. Another spot, the Hotel Jerome in Aspen, attracts many who are attuned to paranormal activity. The hotel is famous for its 2 ghosts, a boy and a girl, who wander the halls whispering to guests as they pass by, giving one chills and shivers. The boy is thought to be the ghost of a child who drowned in the hotel pool. The girl, his sister, who is also long dead but has returned to keep her brother company. Colorado Springs has its own spooky hotel where you may encounter what may be the ghost of Julie Penrose, a co-founder of the hotel. A week prior to her death, Ms. Penrose went missing, and when she was located in a nearby woods, Julie Penrose was trembling, disoriented, and had no recollection of how she had got there. A week later, she was deceased. Is it Julie that wanders the hotel, perhaps driven by a desire to find out what happened to her? You can also stay at the Patterson Inn in Denver, but only if you are prepared for the spine-tingling cries of a baby echoing from the basement or your lights turning on all of a sudden during the night. You may also be accompanied up the stairs by the shadowy specter of Tulin Sudan, who tragically took her life at the hotel in 1900. And of course, there is the Stanley Hotel in Estes Park, which was the inspiration for Stephen King's The Shining. The hotel is over 100 years old, and many strange happenings occur there. Visitors often hear children laughing around the grounds, even when there is no one around. The grand ballroom will emanate the sounds of a piano playing, all the while being empty, and this long before Stephen King put pen to paper. Underground tunnels in the hotel are believed to hold secrets and mysteries. Apparitions abound, enough to alarm your senses and make your hair stand on end. Hotels are not the only places where one may encounter inexplicable phantasm in Colorado. If you are both an enthusiast of museums and the paranormal, be sure to visit the Colorado Prison Museum in Cannon City. The museum is filled with historical displays and exhibits, but it is the cold spots coming from nowhere, the scent of tobacco being burned, and the persistent sense of a spirit roaming the grounds that provide a titillating experience. The spirit is thought to be that of a young woman who was a prisoner there and died in her cell. Casinos are not immune to ghostly happenings, so if slot machines and games are what you are looking for, head to Cripple Creek. Many casinos line Cripple Creek, like Buffalo Billy's and the Colorado Grand Casino. Guests at the venue claim to have witnessed the spirit of a young girl drawing on the walls. Crews and visitors have been privy to seeing drinking glasses fly from their shelves on their own and crash to the floor. There is also Maggie, a ghost who plays slots. However, you won't get to play with her as she tends to play after the casino closes. Want to add a bit of the suspenseful to your event, gathering, or wedding? Then have it at the Highland Ranch Mansion in Highland Ranch, Colorado. Perhaps long dead Julie Kistler, the daughter of the proprietor back in 1926, will show up as a guest. It is said that she materializes as a shadowy figure who calls out in a somber, lamenting cry, this as lights flicker. The atmosphere at your event will certainly get a jolt of excitement. Want another supernatural encounter? Then head to Denver, to the once home of the unsinkable Molly Brown, a survivor of the Titanic. Now open to the public, it is said that visitors can smell whiffs of her husband's pipe tobacco, see lights flicker, and feel cold spots coming from nowhere. Even more spooky is that the furniture in the home mysteriously rearranges itself. For more exhilarating experiences, one can hit up our last eerie place in today's stories. The Rhino Pub and Pizza in Aspen is relatively new. However, employees recount stories of seeing strange orbs, flickering lights, and cold spots. Having no windows only adds to the creepy, dark atmosphere. If all of these seem common, though, in haunted places, it is other happenings that provide an even eerier experience. The weirdest thing is that 160-pound kegs keep falling over on their own, startling those at the pub. Adding to the frightening atmosphere is seeing specters of a man and a small child who walk around the pub and then vanish without a trace. Last week's and this week's stories are only a few of the haunted happenings in Colorado, giving the state the reputation of being the most haunted. These occurrences, though, are also just the beginning. Tune in next week as we head down into the mines and meet the unearthly and mysterious Tommy Knockers.
Storytellers, fable makers, and ghost town enthusiasts. We ask you now to share your stories of encounters with the supernatural kind. Do you have a spooky story you want to share? Have you encountered ghosts of gold diggers past? a Bigfoot, or maybe a Tommy knocker? Well, we want to hear all about it. Go to www.themountaineer.com and follow the prompt, October Listener Tales, and share your supernatural story today.
If you listen out late at night, you'll hear how she atoned me. It's a hallelujah sound. It's hollow, but it's holy. Mother blood, she's crying out an ancient haunting spell. No protection can hold her back. She'll find her prey. She'll tear him down. I hear her howl.
Now, let's go to Jamie Lammers for our music segment. He'll talk to Summers Baker, who will be performing with his trio this weekend at the Gold Hill Inn.
Hello, my name is Jamie Lammers, and today I'm here with another special musical guest, Summers Baker.
My name is Summers Baker.
And I hear you're performing at the Gold Hill Inn very soon.
Yes, I'll be there on Saturday, October 14th. And I'm going to be bringing a trio there of my two dear friends, Grace Clark and Claire Elich. And this will be my first time at Gold Hill under my own name, which is a very exciting thing. I've played there on many occasions with different bands, but it'll be my first time bringing my own specific music up there. So it's something we're all very excited about.
So what got you started on your musical journey?
I was born in Vail, Colorado, and I was raised nearby in Edwards. I fell in love with music in high school when I saw a band perform called the Punch Brothers. I was very moved by their music, and I was moved by acoustic music and folk music and songwriting and arranging. And subsequently, I fell in love with the community that surrounded that kind of music, the music being bluegrass music. And I kind of set out, I think maybe in my early 20s from there, to connect with the bluegrass and folk music scene here in Colorado, just because I was really inspired by the people. So I fell in love with a lot of that kind of music and really just started working on it every day on my own. Fell in love with songwriting, fell in love with learning old traditional American standards, fell in love with collaborating with people, playing guitar, singing harmony, arranging songs. And that kind of became the main thrust of my interest over basically the last 10 years of my life. That's been kind of my sole artistic focus with the whole thing. And so it manifested with this project in a cool way, because Grace Clark and Claire Elich, who are joining me, are people who, through that pursuit, I have collaborated with for something like 8 years. And we've collaborated together in many ways in various projects. And this will be kind of the first time that we've spent a great deal of time specifically working on our music as like a 3-part harmony ensemble. So I think the large, big picture answer is that the connection to community and to collaborating with others is kind of what led to this specific show.
What does the show primarily focus on when it comes to your style of music?
What the show will be, I would say, is a folk music show. You know, I come from a background of bluegrass. For my entire adult life, I've toured and played in a bluegrass band called Meadow Mountain, which is based here in Denver, but it's traveled all over the country and done a lot of shows. But the way the music manifests with this group, I would call it folk music. You know, we're focusing on specific folk songs that we really love and bringing them to life through the context of singing them together, which is something that you find in bluegrass, certainly. And I think the show is very much in the spirit of bluegrass, but the way I feel it and perceive it is that it's a folk music show.
Will you be performing originals or covers or a mix of both?
It's going to be a mix of both. The original music that I sing basically has the singular goal of celebrating the mountains of Colorado. So people listening are going to hear a lot of songs about the Rocky Mountains, a lot of songs about my upbringing in the mountains and the things that I love about life in Colorado. And the covers that we do are covers that the three of us have all kind of fallen in love with over the last 10 years of playing folk music and bluegrass music. So we have like a Tom Petty cover in there. We sing Gregory Alan Isakov songs. We sing a wide berth of music, a lot of very old traditional folk music, and it all kind of congeals in and think music that's sort of fundamentally what I would call mountain music.
What do you love about sharing music like this with an audience?
As I mentioned before, I've been doing this for my entire adult life. The thing that keeps me coming back to music time and time again is the sense of community around this kind of music. And so, like I said, there's this sense of community and collaboration that I always return to with music. So while this show is labeled as the Summers Baker Trio, and it's led by me, and a lot of the songs are written by me, the thing I love about music is not that I wrote those songs and that I'm performing them. The thing I love about music is that I get to share those songs with my friends, work on arrangements together, learn how to sing harmony on the songs. The songs that I write and bring to these audiences are very much so a vehicle towards the goal of my love of collaborating with my friends and making music. So like the thing I love about the show and the thing that's really cool and exciting and new about it is I have some dear friends of mine who I've played with for a long time. And this show represents our kind of entry into singing and playing together in a more focused space where we spent a lot of time through this summer working on the music. We're really focusing on bringing something beautiful and memorable to audiences. And the Gold Hill Inn is going to kind of be our first foray into that as a group. So I think that's a big part of what I love about what the show is and why I'm excited about it.
And what do you hope audience members take away with them when they come and see the show?
Yeah, so I would say the three of us that are going to be on that stage are deeply passionate about music, specifically about music as it exists here in Colorado. It's my hope as a songwriter that someone listening to the show will walk away with a renewed appreciation of life in Colorado, whether that be mountains or time in the wilderness or all the things this beautiful state and place has to offer. I seek to celebrate that in the music.
Is there anything else in general that you want to add?
I would offer up that I think if people are interested in seeing what I'm up to and kind of following this project, that they would follow me on Instagram, which is the handle @SummersBaker, SummersBaker. That's where I keep a lot of people up to date with what I'm doing and what this project is doing. I want to say a couple words about Grace and Claire. Grace Clark and Claire Elich are both highly accomplished musicians here in the Front Range. Claire Elich has done a ton of work all over the state, played at a bunch of venues, and she is an amazing part of this group. And equally so, Grace Clark is a fantastic songwriter, and I would point people towards their music as well if they're kind of looking to see what the show is about. But if people are looking to listen to the music that we're making, I would point them in the direction of that Instagram handle.
Thank you so much to Summers for coming on board and joining us for the podcast. If you want to see him perform live with Grace Clark and Claire Elich, you can see them perform together at the Gold Hill Inn, 401 Main Street in Gold Hill on Saturday, October 14th, 2023 at 7 p.m.
Every man has an alibi, every wolf a two-tailed story. Cedar trees and blood on the leaves, my soul can't climb to glory. It's a hallelujah sound, it's hollow but it's holy. In the woods she is crying out, she'll find her prey, she'll tear him down, she'll tear me down. I hear her howl,
That concludes this week's episode of the Mountain Air Podcast, where everybody's listening.
Visit our website at www.themountaineer.com to read more information about today's guests. Pick up a copy of this week's print edition of The Mountaineer at newsstands all across the Peak to Peak. I'm Dango Rose.
And I'm Cynthia Davis. Thank you for listening.
You name it, we've got it.
You know, up here in the mountains, things are weird.
And that's it for our show. Subscribe online to get more access to more news, weekly updates to our community calendar, and a link to our YouTube channel by visiting themountaineer.com. Be sure to use the coupon code PODCAST when subscribing for a 10% discount, only available to our listeners. If you are in the local peak-to-peak area, be sure to pick up a print edition of The Mountaineer at a local business. I'm Dango Rose. Thank you for listening.